Brittany, your hair look all right.
I've noticed that too.
I don't do natural hair, y'all. I stay braided up. So this is something different.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
You look good to me.
Thank you, bro.
Um,
Y'all should be seeing it now on your computer. I mean,
Yeah.
on your phones or whatever.
Yeah, I got a shirt.
Like I said, them little three buttons, check your privacy, put it on public, and we're gonna rock with it. Because we already got like 6 people in the room. We ain't gonna disappoint. Hey,
That's right.
Here come that 30-second countdown, y'all. After that, we're gonna go in. Oh, we done lost Kevin. I'm gonna see if we can get him back first.
All right.
Come back, Katie.
Damn, 8 people already in here. They already commenting.
Hey.
Come on, KD. Need you, baby. Hello, T. We're gonna do it like this. We're gonna go ahead and jump in because it's already a lot of people on the live. Oh, my man.
Sha'Carri Richardson.
KD, we keep losing you, dog. Y'all ready?
I think I'm back.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Big Picture Podcast Show. This evening we'll be discussing Sha'Carri Richardson along with a few other things as transpired this past week in the sports world. With me today, my panel, I got the homie KD Jeffrey holding it down out of Dallas, Louisville. I got Miss Brittany Lachelle, the residential lady on the panel tonight, holding it down, repping Dangerfield and Longview. And I got my big homie, my brother, JC Smith, holding it down for Fort Worth, Texas.
What's up?
We're gonna start it off like this. With all of y'all on the panel, the U.S. track team as a whole in the Olympics, did they disappoint you, or were you good with that? With what happened? Let's start with the lady on the panel first. What do you think about the performance of the U.S. track team as a whole?
As a whole, I was okay with the performance of the U.S. track team as a whole. I think everybody represented well. I think they did what they were supposed to do.
I thought so too. I thought a lot of people was down on because we usually win more of the sprints than we normally do, but that didn't happen this time. And it was to a point like what JC and I had alluded to earlier. The world is just catching up. They catching up to the United States and everything.
Yep.
KD, your take on it do you think the U.S. track team in the Olympics as a whole, did you think they represented, or was it just wasn't good enough for you? I don't think he can hear us. JC, same question to you.
Yeah, I'll chime in, man. I think our track team as a whole did very well, actually. We had Curly who dropped down from the 400, talking to the men's 100, dropped down from the 400 to the 100,
which I thought was a mistake.
Yeah, I did too. I didn't think he was gonna make it out of the trials, man. But man, that dude, he got second, and then he went to the freaking Diamond League and did even better. So he's solidifying himself as a 100 meter guy. Bromell, he kind of disappointed a little bit in that 100. I expected him to be, battling for first.
I really expected more from Bromell.
Yeah, I don't know whether he had injury. He was talking. I've been hearing him on interviews and talking. And it don't seem like he was injured or nothing. So I don't know what happened to him.
In the trials, he looked great.
Yeah, and then in those in the prelims in the Olympics, he just didn't look right. Looked like he was hurt to me, but he said it wasn't.
That goes to the stage, though.
Yeah,
that's a big stage. That Olympics is a big stage.
It can make your legs feel tired when they ain't. All that pressure, and it wasn't no crowd, but just the pressure of being there with all that world class talent, man. It's such a big difference going from running against your homeboys that's all American to now you got all these people from all over the world, and it's almost. The closest thing to it is NCAA's, and because they got people from all over the world. But when you're at that stage and you're running against the pros, we're grown ass men, grown ass women, so they're a little bit more developed. I was impressed. I mean, going up the chain, man. The 200, that was awesome. You had 5 people, up there that was doing well, and in the top 4, we got. The only thing that kept us from sweeping was DeGrasse from Canada, and he's the happiest person in the world right now that Usain Bolt retired.
He got
because that was the only thing that was keeping him from winning gold. So he's just proven that that right now he's the man as far as the world is concerned.
KD, you back?
Yeah,
we was all talking about the performance of the U.S. track team. Yeah. How'd you feel about it as a whole in the Olympics?
Hello?
We was asking about how you felt about the track team as a whole in the Olympics. How did you feel about that? Did you think they performed?
Well, as far as the outside groups like the 100, the 200, the sprint relay, the 4x4, I don't feel like they performed too good because they didn't put together a good team. And the individual, they did their job.
Okay.
Like as far as high jump, triple jump, the hurdles and stuff like that, they did their job. But that main group, them relays and them hundreds and 200s, they really didn't perform.
Well,
I mean, Allison Felix, she did her thing in 100. 400 and the 4x4, but it was all Jamaicans, bro. Jamaicans and other countries that really took over.
Jamaican men didn't do nothing.
No,
they
hurt.
Yeah, they terrible. And that begs
to
this point right here. How can the women be that fast and the men don't have nothing?
Well, I mean, none of the men really performed except for that little 19-year-old.
I mean,
that little 19-year-old put on the 200, but that was it.
Well,
that's what I'm saying about Jamaica. They didn't produce, man. Not like they normally do.
Jamaican men they're down right now. But you got to look. It goes in cycles. Like right now, their talent is in the under 20 coming up.
Right.
And all of their stars are just getting old. The men, as far as Americans, so they still have Blake out there, and he old as hell. In fact, he's in the hospital today. So
I think that's the main problem.
Yeah, he just got old. And
well, I saw him in the Olympic trials, and you remember I told you that his time he wouldn't even make the U.S. track team.
No.
And that was very surprising about Johan Blake. But I also had saw where several of those guys who were coached by Usain Bolt's coach had a problem with him. Had a problem with that
Blake?
coach. No, they had a problem with the coach. Usain addressed it, and it just shouted him. But I didn't want to start this on a down note, but we're gonna go into the whole Sha'Carri Richardson thing. Sha'Carri Richardson thing. And I saw this interview by Sonya Richards Ross.
Yeah.
Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. She said that she thought that Sha'Carri Richardson was in over her head because her fitness level wasn't there. I'm gonna pass this question to Brittany. In the trials, 2 months prior, she ran a 10.6, 10.7. That was her thing.
That was win 80 though.
Okay, but that's still a 10.7 is still a 10.7. That's
a 10.7.
It's a 10.7.
It's a 10.7. A 10.7 is a 10.7.
Yeah, so when she did the 11.1 in this past race, what did you take from that?
I felt like Sha'Carri, that was my whole intake with it. She's a great athlete. I'm not going to take it from her. She is a track runner. She is capable of being an Olympian. Her mindset, her demeanor got in the way of even her athletic ability. You don't go from a 10.7 to 11.1 and just say it just happened. No, it don't just happen. You gave up because Sha'Carri she doesn't have a good start, but she has a very strong finish.
Right.
She didn't even finish the way she finishes. She ran 11.1, and a lot of people say she did not give up. She did, because that's the only way you can go from a 10.7 to 11.1. It's not about training. You got the speed. That's not about training.
Right.
You went from a 10.7 to 11.1 because you laid down.
That was kind of.
I feel like her team didn't prepare her.
So you don't think
they prepared her for the Olympic trials, but she wasn't facing like the world class leaders like Elaine Thompson and Shelly-Ann Fraser and Brianna Williams. Like, she wasn't facing them when she ran that. So I feel like they didn't prepare her for the competition she was.
Well, but you know what, KD? As track runners, we both ran track in school. We all know that you get your fastest time when you race against the fastest people. That's what push you.
Facts. Facts.
That's facts. And we're track runners, so we know that. That's when you
I
get your
tell you,
fastest time, unless you lay down.
I tell you what I saw. You can see it in her face during the race when it happened. When that switch went off, like, oh hell, I ain't got a chance at this. When Elaine, when of course, Shelly Ann, she always gonna take off. Her and the young teammate Brittany, right? They took off. Those are two best starts I've ever seen.
But
that's nothing.
Normal.
That's normal. So
that's normal with Shelly Ann out the blocks.
You got to come back and get her. But when Elaine kicked it into gear and she took 2 steps and she was 4 to 5 yards ahead of her, that's when that light came on in her eyes and her head came up. And when her head came up, she slowed down.
She came out of that drive phase. You're right. I noticed that she came out of that drive phase a whole lot faster than she normally do.
Yeah.
And you and I had talked about out the blocks, she got to do better.
Yes.
I don't know who's training her, but at 2 years, she's been a pro 2 years now. Somebody got to teach her how to get out of them blocks.
Fix that.
You got to, because that's the first thing. Because Shelly Ann Fraser Price, 2008, 2012, that was her whole gig. She was the pocket rocket out the gates, and then you got to come get her.
Yeah.
And I was noticing, I was like, man, why is her takeoff so slow? I never understood that.
And it shouldn't be.
Because her top end,
her stature, she's about the same height, same size as Shelly Ann. So she should be able to come out the blocks like Shelly Ann. I don't understand that either.
I mean, stature shouldn't mean nothing. It's work ethic. It's your race preparation. Like, you got to prepare to get out the blocks fast. You got to prepare to have a hard drive phase. You got to prepare to relax at the end of the race just to make it across the finish line. I feel like with all the stuff that she was going through, her circle should have been stronger. Like, it should have been stronger to keep her focused, and it wasn't. It wasn't at all.
We're gonna get into that, but I'm asking, like, I'm not a track star. I know all of y'all ran. so no, I'm saying to go from a 10-7 to 11-1 in a 2-month time frame, that's not right. I know that
it has nothing to do with
right. Training
with your speed, with your ability, with your strength. That has nothing to do with that.
She gave up on that one.
That was just a lay down.
Yeah. When her head came up and her whole torso started leaning backwards. And when she did that, it was over.
Well, I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, but I was like, to me, it wasn't giving up.
And when she did that, it was over.
And then the thing about track, we know you create rivalries in track. I think she did that. That was the silver lining in it. Because for the next 3 to 4 years, our whole job is going to be to beat Elaine Thompson. Shirley Ann Fraser said next year World Championships is over for her. She's 36. But let's look at it like this. Whenever you let a 36-year-old woman beat you who's had a child, that's not you can't call yourself a world-class athlete when that's happening. And the circle around her should have known better. They should have known that what this would create in terms of going forward. Carl Lewis did it with Ben Johnson, Gatlin and Tyson Gay, and all of them guys did it. Michael Johnson, you see what him and Green did to each other. They made each other blow each other's hamstrings out. So I'm good. I'm glad she talked that shit to create that rivalry. But now what are you gonna do about it? It was important about it.
Yeah, if you're gonna talk like that in track,
What'd you say, KD? KD, what'd you say? Hey, go ahead, Jonathan.
Yeah, I was saying, if you're gonna talk like that in track, you got to back it up, man. And the thing about it, she didn't have to do that on this because the attention was already going to be there. She could have came in and performed. She didn't, and even if she didn't give up, if she just got fifth, sixth, somewhere in there, she would have so much less pressure on her right now to continue and to improve. But now, it's going to be a mental block she's going to have to get over, I believe, because you can only have so much false bravado that it ain't gonna bring you up because you got to focus, and especially in that race that she runs at 100, it's got to be total focus. I didn't actually run as a sprinter myself, but I trained a couple pretty good ones. So
we gonna get to that.
It's tough. It's focus, man. It is focus.
And to me, being a sprinter and just being in track, Sha'Carri has her aggression too early. Too early. Your aggression needs to be put on the track. You don't talk noise before you run track. Yes, track is a competition. You get out there, first of all, you pray before you run. Because you're praying for no injuries, you're praying for no pools.
Yeah.
You don't, that's just not the focus in track, period. So to me, she hasn't been trained in her mindset because you don't even know how to approach the track yet. You don't approach the track aggressively. You approach the track gracefully, and when you finish and you complete your race, then that's where your cockiness can come. But it still has to have a limitation to it. It's an individual race that she's racing as a sprinter.
And you can make track talking. I mean, it's not new to track. I mean, trash talking is not, because I can't. One of my favorite races of all time was when Mo Green won that 100, and then he started acting like his feet was on fire.
Oh man!
And took off his spikes, and somebody ran out there with a fire extinguisher and put out his spikes.
I think she's more worried about her image and her performance on the track because of these endorsements, the spotlight that she getting. Back when she was at LSU, we didn't see the bad races that she ran. We only saw the highlights. So now she ran out in front of this worldwide stage, and her image is what she worrying about more than her performance on the track. And that's what she need to get back to, performing on the track before being in front of the cameras.
Well,
I agree.
Money it's just the root of all evil. And she truly wasn't ready for that, but that's how they make their money. She got to run them track meets. That's what that's what being in the Diamond League is, and the whole thing. Well, let me transition to the whole incident with the weed smoking. I think I want to give her the pass. But that was an Olympic opportunity. And the reason I'm saying that to say this: if you even aspire to be like an Allison Felix, who went to the Olympics at 18, your first Olympics was at 21. You got to get on that train right then, because you don't know how long is that ride gonna last. And that was one of the things I was real disappointed in her with, because she should have known. She should have known better. But that's just my take on it.
Yeah.
Y'all can speak on it.
I was not mad at. I take it back. I was not mad at Sha'Carri with the weed thing, because weed is natural. Everybody's smoking a little weed. I was very disappointed at the timing that she decided to smoke the weed.
There you go. Yeah, I
was very disappointed. Not mad at her at all. Do your thing. I mean, but the timing, at this point, you got to use your common sense, baby.
Yeah, you do.
And we're not talking about a 13-year-old middle school track runner. We're talking about, I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
she's young, but at some point we gotta,
yes,
So
that
yeah,
was
that was a
terrible
bad
timing.
decision. That was a bad decision.
But
Well,
what I'm
But
asking
I was
though is
still rooting for her. I was still rooting for her after the weed incident. I was still rooting for her.
a lot of people were. I saw the LSU, all the LSU alumni come
Very
together. They
supportive.
were very supportive.
Yes.
But what she did in the interview, the subsequent interview that she did on Good Morning America, told me that there was that was gonna be a problem. Because even then she showed a bad attitude in the interview when she had a chance to say I'm sorry. She was like, I'm human, I make mistakes, whoop de whoop. That, that
Like the
was her
shirt,
whole
brother.
attitude.
okay, I got it.
What it say?
Hey,
Ain't
I
nothing wrong.
feel
Hey,
like
I got my plug on
listen,
too. It's all
real
good.
quick. The weed smoking, she heard from a reporter that her mama had died. I really feel like she was in the process of rekindling that relationship because she didn't grow up with her mother. And to hear from a stranger that her mama had died, that kind of threw her into chaos. That's why I say she should have had a stronger team around her to talk her out of doing that. Because she went and smoked weed to compensate her feelings and to try to get a better trainer going on around her. You winning these races. You've been on the forefront of the next Olympic athlete. You got comparison of FloJo. Come on, bro, that's too much for a 21-year-old to be compared to FloJo. And then your mama died and you got all this shit going on. It's like crumbled down on her. So you gotta understand that you can't put your life in a position to where she coming from because it's different. It's like sometimes people just need to get away instead of deal with their problems or face it head on. And that's what she did. She went an easy route to cope with her pain, and it backfired. I don't
Well,
know.
Well, hey,
Okay, D, do you not feel like it was just at the wrong time because it wasn't her first blunt? It was just the blunt was at the wrong time. You don't think even with trying to
I
cope
think the
with
blunt
a
was at
death
the wrong time. I don't
that
think it was the first time. It just came at the wrong time. Because I'm pretty sure she felt like they weren't gonna drug test her. That's why she smoked.
man.
She
yeah,
probably felt like they weren't gonna drug test her.
right.
But here's
That
my
blunt
take
was
on
at
it.
the wrong time.
All right,
It wasn't the first one, but it was at the wrong time.
but
You
let
should
me.
have waited.
Yeah, that was a lost opportunity. And
here's my take on it, man. You know, I the first thing they do to you when you make it to the collegiate level in track and field, you get a list, a letter from the conference and the school listing all the water drugs or things that you can't take, things you can't do. They drill that into your head as soon as you even step onto the campus. And they also send your parents the same letter so those parents don't F things up when you come home, giving you something that you shouldn't have. So that's something that's been drilled in her. I don't know how long she was at LSU. Well, she was there a year maybe
which which I
before
think
she
was
went pro.
which I thought was a bad decision
Yeah,
for her to quit school.
she could have got a little bit more development there, but
Right.
you make those things. She grown, but the thing about it, she knew
Right.
what she could do, exactly what she could do, and exactly what she couldn't. Especially since she's a pro, she gets paid for doing this now.
Yeah.
Right.
So not only did she missing an event that will had a possibility of making her her earning
Oh, she
potential
didn't just
grow
miss a
quite a
week. She
bit.
missed the Olympics, bro.
That's what I'm saying. She missed. That's an event. That she missed something that was going to give her a chance to make it to the next level of financial growth as a track athlete. And that's something. I've seen some people that got contracts, but once you get an Olympic medal, that financial potential goes straight up.
Hey,
and weed smoking took that away.
Correct.
I googled I googled what's her name's network? What's her name? Allison Felix. 4.5 million. That's what I'm talking about. Just from running track. Yeah. That's where you want to be. Like I said, I feel like her team failed her. I ain't gonna keep harping on it because the whole next thing was it was the tweets and the commercial for me. Like you can't have your United States Olympic team over there already getting killed by the Jamaicans, and you tweeting out, "Do y'all miss me yet?" You can't do that. You can't tweet to them good luck.
And for me,
go ahead, Brittany.
Okay, so yeah, it was the social media. It was the way she carried herself. Everybody had got past the weed, just like we just got past it in the podcast. I mean,
right.
Wasn't a big deal, hey, you just got caught slipping. Yeah. The tweets and the commercial, you did a little too much. Because now you're not talking about something that you did. Because at this point with the tweets and the commercial, you can't really use your mom as a resource.
As the
and crutch, I know it's hard to deal with death. I'm still grieving. I just buried my dad, the love of my life. So I understand if don't nobody else. But now you've messed with your character, you've messed with your reputation, you've messed with your future, you're messing with other people's future. You can kind of mess up their head because the fact that she did not tweet about the coconut stand, you liked it, you commented, you engaged in all of this. And she didn't stop. That's what got me. Last out. Say it one time. She didn't stop.
She did.
She did not stop. She kept going. She did not.
I'm telling you one thing about social media, it will reveal your flaws and your insecurity. Because you get on that camera and you want everybody to believe you is this person. And you want everybody to see you as this strong person. That's that social media.
Right.
You gotta stay off and work on who you are in real life instead of on that camera.
Well, let me interject this about social media. Because it's pros and cons to everything. Now the pro side of it is you get more, you worldwide quicker, you global quicker. And like Jonathan was saying, the next level of her financial climb can come through social media. See, it's been 30 some years since we had FloJo. FloJo right now would be $100 million now. What they looking for right now is the next FloJo. And that's why Nike did not drop her, because they looking for that one person, that one woman that can stand on it and do what they and deliver. She messed up in more ways than one. On a side note, with all of this that's going on with her, where is the LGBTQ whatever community that represents her as well? Because the week of the trials, her team allowed her to come out as a homosexual, which I thought was okay. If you're not married, why would you let this girl come out right now? Because who cares about her love life? She at the trials. So not only did she get
who came out?
She came out. You didn't know that?
Sha'Carri came out.
Yeah. She came out as a homosexual.
This is new to me.
Hey, bro, new to me. I do research, bro. She came out as a homosexual. And
I'm doing a podcast. The internet.
And what I'm saying is, why would they allow her to do that if you already dealing with the Olympic trials, the death of your mom, and then the whole weed smoking thing, and y'all just let this whole week get away from this girl? That's not very professional. And if she our meal ticket, ain't no way I'm letting that happen. Me and whoever, I'm slapping the joint out of hand, and I'm doing, hey,
you know, the coming out thing, you know, that's something that's in the norm these days. They're normalizing that. From what I noticed is raising a female athlete, a lot of them were undercover LGBTQ anyway. So they come across a lot of that.
Well, what I'm saying is I'm not against it. I'm just saying if she's not married, why would you let them roll that out? Because that's your love life. That's personal. What people do in their personal lives, that's that. But some things don't belong on that stage at that time, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, she probably could have had some good advice from some people to
on
how to properly bring that across and actually mass market it. Make a profit off of it.
We need to refrain from talking about them alphabets because that has nothing to do with performance. Whether you gay, straight, black, white, and you got to perform when you get on that track. No matter who you love, no matter who you
I think he was talking about it in a focus.
No, yeah, I'm saying as it like this. Because here lately, anything that's said or done to a homosexual person or something, there's always that side of it jumping into the fray. And I was wondering why all of this they making memes out of this girl. They talking about dropping her from endorsement deals and stuff, and nobody saying nothing. Who's on her team now? Because I don't want it to all be negative. You see what I'm saying?
I think that person that's on the screen now, Karen, she was the track star in my house. Used to run for UTEP. What's up, Bonner? She does spoke about that. The generation is a lot different. She could use that to her advantage support wise. She's
exactly.
Right.
Exactly. They should.
They could have made that a money making venture for her.
Anything to keep it from just turning negative, because nobody's on her team right now. Let's just be honest. Even like today, when Smith turned against her about the Allison Felix thing, that's you dealing with ESPN now. ESPN was supporting her.
Yeah, they were.
ESPN was
I want what she think about Allison Felix, Sha'Carri. What's her name? Sanders Richards Ross,
right?
Carmelita, like all the other athletes that came before her, not coming to help in, not providing support for her in this time of need. Like
you need to hear this
Allison
part,
just came out on live TV talking about she got her back. Well, where was you at back then when the weed smoking was going on? Back when she was doing the Olympic trials, where was you at when she was first becoming a professional track star? Like, I don't see no kind of female that actually been doing what she been doing reach out to her in no kind of way whatsoever. You don't see her getting mentored by nobody. Like, who is her mentor? Alson Bowden, he could have came out. Michael Johnson, he from Dallas. Anybody could have came out.
She got coaches, man. She got a coach very good.
Coaches. She got coaches that coach.
What happened? Her coach was over in Tokyo.
Okay.
I don't see nobody that's trying to mentor her. Somebody that's been through what she going through and just sit there and be like.
Let me ask you this: do you think she wanted? Because at this point, it don't seem like she reaching out. You gotta reach your hand out.
Or will she listen? Or will she listen?
Good point, Brittany.
Will she take heed to it? Will she take heed to it? That's why, KD, I agree. I agree with you, Jonathan, where we said that I think she should have stayed in college a little bit longer. I
My point
understand the
is that
bigger picture that she
Yeah.
was looking at, but she needed that college. She needed to experience other people talking to her and other people to get that attitude and that way of thinking she have out of her before she went to a whole nother league. My opinion.
that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. She's at a stage now where it's hard for her to now at this point she need a therapist. It ain't even just
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's already in her head that she's a loser and different stuff like that. And that's not what you want as a track athlete.
Mm-mm.
Well, she's in a weird place like this. Me and Jonathan being in the
Most
50s.
most of the greats have a mentor.
Okay, I give you that. But like I said, the space that she's in, you're looking at me and Jonathan who are older. We've seen athletes that didn't come back from getting in the way of themselves.
Yeah.
Roy Tarpley comes to mind. But she's in y'all age range. Okay, she's 21. So that's that generation now that don't listen and are very disrespectful. But what do you think about a kid that's 15 or 16, the young lady that's looking up to her? So
Right.
what now? What did she say to that girl? What did she say to a 16-year-old?
Well, that's the thing. She's still a child herself. A 16-year-old and a 21-year-old is not that far apart.
She professional
So
though.
she really can't really
No,
say
you
nothing
can't
until she get
bro. You
until
can't
she
lean
get
on that.
that seasoned
She
veteran.
she's professional though. This is what I'm saying. So are you saying that the
Just
one year?
because you professional don't mean you have the guidance that you need or the mindset that you need to be a professional. You just
Okay,
been put in that professional role. Just
okay,
think of when Kobe came into the league.
right,
Who was
right.
his mentor? Jordan. He had his daddy. He had other people that been in that role that he was embracing. Ain't nobody that been in that role that she embracing and came out and tried to mingle her into what it needs to be that star and what it needs to walk in these shoes.
All right. Let me see this. If if she needs a mentor, the only way
Yeah,
she needs to
she didn't
respect
mentor
other
that got
people
that
that are
footage.
in she needs to respect the other people that are in the same business as she is. For example, the 200-meter run, Gabby Thomas. There was an article that was tweeted out on Twitter where they were talking about how Gabby had this chance to make it, and then they were also talking about the 200-meter runner that dang, I forget his name. Howard, dang it, forget his name. He wasn't one of the top 200-meter runners either.
Right.
And instead of showing support during that time, she tweeted out that the other guy would do well. Did not mention Gabby at all. The person, our strongest person in the 200 meters in the females. When you won't show support for your own teammates, nobody's going to reach out to you to try to
Right.
mentor you.
That's
You
right.
got you got to show respect for other people, and it don't matter how old you are.
Right.
If you're 21, that's grown. I was we were doing a lot of things at 21, and you got to be an adult and make adult decisions. You got to respect other people, or nobody else is going to come along and help you out. And she needs the help. It's track. Y'all track runners. Track requires a lot of support from
And discipline.
trainers
It
all the way
does.
through
And
through,
discipline.
through coaches.
That's why.
And
That's why
nobody's going to do that with her
I want.
attitude.
I want. I want to ask Brittany, how hard is it to be a female athlete?
It's very hard. It's very hard because you not only have to focus on your athleticness, you have your character, you have your reputation, you have all of that. And I do agree with you, KD. She does need a mentor. She does. Because if you've never been told these things, if you never, I had my mom. I had my mom. I had Coach Mason as a stepdaddy. I had a lot of people. I had Coach Carter. I
Hey,
mean, I had a circle. I had my teammates. We held each other accountable. my relay team. We held each other accountable.
Right.
I truly do not believe that Sha'Carri has ever had that. But as I became a senior in high school, I did not have those same people that I had my 9th grade year, 10th grade year, 11th grade year. I had to step up and start adulting to teach the younger
I
ones.
think we the only ones on here.
At some point,
No, we
she's
all on
21.
here.
I do understand what you're saying, KD. I really do. Because she is truly still young in the mind. But she has moved up to the big leagues. You have to distinguish the difference in that, and you have to start taking accountability for yourself. You can't wait on somebody else to help you now because see, she should have got that help at LSU. She should have got that help
Michael
in high
Boyd,
school.
when your
They can't
girl
wait
turn
till this girl get
21,
ready to
throw
go to
her
the
out
Olympics.
against the world like Sha'Carri Richardson's been thrown out.
How would I feel?
Well, let me before you answer that.
Since our video connection has cut off,
No,
I
we all
will
on.
respond to comments.
We all on here.
We hear you, KD.
If you think a 21-year-old is not a child, then you
We
gotta
all
wait till your kids be 21 and see that they still not an adult.
well this is what I'm saying.
They
Like,
mind frame is different.
hear me out. All of y'all, because I know
You
all of
gotta
y'all
have experience.
have star athletes. Your daughter's a star, your daughter was a star. And from everything you telling me. So when you raising your daughter, which puts you in, you the first line of defense. When your
Yes.
child is not doing what you wanted to do or train as hard as you wanted to train, what do you do? At what point are you gonna say you're uncoachable? Now let somebody else take you. Are you gonna ever step back and be like that, or is that something that you have to do?
It is
What
something
they,
you have to do, Craig. With me, with my daughter now, my daughter is a good athlete in my eyes. Can
right,
she be better? Yes, she can. Is there somebody out there to beat her? Yes, there is. My daughter also has like she's very aggressive in every sport she plays. Just her period. I have to tell her sometimes your attitude. You're gonna have to learn how to control your reactions. Now I'm telling you this. Now, if parents at 14 does not take initiative to know now, I am a student athlete. My mom is telling me that I need to
right,
change this. I need to do that. At 14, you have to take accountability for yourself. Yes, she's still a child. She's
Keyword.
my child. But I still
Your
expect
mom,
her as a
your
student athlete.
mother,
You have
your mother.
expectations.
She didn't grow
You
up
have
with that guy.
expectations. I need
She
you
didn't
to
grow
take
up with
initiative
that
and do that. And if you're not going to listen to me,
guy.
I need you
All
to
she
listen
had
to your
was
dad. I need
coaches.
you to listen to your grandmother, your coaches. You need to
I'm
find
sorry.
somebody that you can. And I'll help you. But she has to be willing to say that she's ready to do that. Sha'Carri has to be willing to say that she's ready to get help. I need help. I didn't have this guidance. It still starts with her.
right.
You
Uh,
know, she still has
Yeah.
a part to play, and she has to do that.
you speak up,
And
speak on
she
it,
won't do
JC.
that if we feel sorry for her.
Hey, that's what I'm
Well,
talking about.
here's I give you my star athlete. I had two of them. One male, one female. And the female is on now. My daughter's actually listening to this conversation. Um, it was different between the two of them. My son, he was automatic because he was just a star. He was fast. His main sport was football.
So it wasn't you didn't have to push him as much.
Didn't have to push him as much. My daughter was a little different, mainly because we actually had to make her an athlete, starting at an early age, and you know, when she did develop as an athlete, which was around the 7th grade, things drastically changed. She went from being a little chubby girl to being a very fit athlete that attracted attention, and that
Right,
brought on all kinds of other challenges. So
right.
she it was very I had to be on my toes, mainly because I was her trainer. I trained her in both the sports she was good at. Basketball, she was recruited for basketball, several colleges, and chose to go to take the track position at UTEP. University of Texas El Paso. And one the coach that actually recruited her called me on my cell phone. He was one of the track coaches for the Jamaican track team. He was a coach. He was a coach down at UTEP at the time, and he called me up and convinced me of what it would take to get her to go over to run college track for UTEP, and just the challenges of keeping her mentally focused. And once she got focused on what she needed to do, she trained like a machine, man. And the results just came with summer track and with high school track, and it just went well for her up until she went into college. So I was kind of blessed to have kids that made it easy. Probably made me look like a better trainer than I really was, maybe because I didn't actually run myself at that level. I ran, but I was never that fast as them two, and I just learned. I use my military experience and my military connections to connect with coaches all over this nation. I would actually call them and write them, and they would write me back. They would give me their training programs. They would do different stuff like that, and it just had different recruiting sites that reached out to me and got her spot at UTEP.
But my point is, but did you teach her respect, professionalism?
That came with home upbringing. I taught her to respect other people, to respect adults, and to respect grown people. That's home training. That's something a lot of people don't get, and that's just something I instilled in my kids at least. You gotta respect other people. You gotta respect your competitors, and if you do that, you will make lifetime friends that you'll be able to look back on from years now. Some of them will be professional, some of them will be just on the sideline right now looking at everybody. So respect. That's the first thing they learn.
I really hate that KD cutting out because this is a real good discussion.
Like we just lost Brittany too.
He's back. I mean, I think we all agree that she got a lot of growing to do as a person, as an athlete, as a woman.
Okay. See, that's what I'm saying. Like I didn't want to get on here.
That's not a bad thing.
I didn't want to get on here and just bash.
That's not a bad thing.
Because she got
the thing is, you gotta understand. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying this.
You gotta understand that some people don't have that parents in their household teaching them the actions they need to do as an athlete. I didn't grow up with that. I learned it on my own. As an athlete, being out in the limelight sometimes, I learned it on my own. I was angry because I didn't get an interception, or I was angry because I missed a pass. I was angry because I got burnt.
Right.
Mm.
Hey, KD, you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you actually keep fading, bro. Because this is the last thing about her being professional. Can we all agree that that's what she needs to be more of? Because the talent is there. The talent is clearly there. So can we agree that she just needs to be more professional and maybe surround herself with better people? Anybody?
Repeat that, Craig.
I was just saying, can we just agree that she needs to be a better professional? Because she clearly has the talent. And that's what I'm hoping that she gets to that point where she can just use her talent and focus on what she has to do.
Right. I agree.
Only thing,
I agree.
sorry to cut you off, but I gotta exit this. But the only thing that I was trying to say is that everybody don't grow up with their mama or daddy teaching them how to be professional. A lot of people got to learn it on their own. A lot of people got to go through the trials and tribulations and the struggle of being unprofessional before they get it. Me personally, I didn't grow up with a mama backing me through every sport. I only had coaches. I didn't have no parents. I didn't have no uncles, nobody that really support me doing sports. So with her making it this big without that support, it's kind of hard to deal with. It's hard to go through that shit by yourself when you only got yes men around you. You only got people that tell you what you want to hear so they can keep getting paid.
That's a great
Like
point.
that's on that. Like some people grew up with that structure. Like I know Miss Simpson was a great person. She coached us through everything and gonna give us all kind of support. That was your mom. I didn't have that at home. I didn't have nothing like that at home. So for me to go out and having to make my own name by myself with just the coaches that's here to just come to work and same as having that in your household, teach you how to be an adult, teach you how to take this thing, teach you how to take.
He made a great point because I know I like I said I didn't grow up in a house where support was real big with sports and stuff, but I wasn't no star athlete either. So, uh, but with that being said, I think it's been a great show. I really appreciate everybody coming on, and I think this was a great discussion. Brittany, we're gonna love to have you back on some other stuff. Because I see you don't mind speaking your mind. And as usual, my brother down there, he done a couple of shows with us, so he already know how we get down. So with that being said, like I said, I'd like to thank all y'all for showing up to watch the broadcast, the Big Picture podcast show, and y'all tune in next week. We're gonna go a little deeper.
Been great.
We do.